And there's people that have the nerve to like be mad at him for showing emotion or saying it's premature or he hasn't won a championship yet and stuff. Well, number one, you must have never played a meaningful sport before in a meaningful moment because that's going to happen regardless of what happens. I mean, you can get that emotional winning a playoff game in high school. Like things like that matter with the amount of work that you put in. He's put in 10 times the amount of work that any of us ever put in on this sport to succeed, right? So that's number one. Number two, what's wrong with caring? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, joined me by Nathan Garthe.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Yes, sir, indeed. We got a very special video. Gotta talk about the NBA Finals. Gotta talk about the conference finals, too, because there's so much drama revolving that. Well, drama on one side. The other side literally was playing at LA Fitness for 4 games. But we'll get into that. First things first, definitely subscribe to the channel. Check out all of our other content. Like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. But let's get right into it. I got a lot I want to say. So let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about here. The Spurs in the OKC Thunder series. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Like that, everyone was a Spurs fan for like 2 games. I've never seen something like that of a team who struggled and fought so hard that won over so many people. But Garth, let me get your opinion, man. What are your thoughts on that entire series as a whole?
That series was awesome. I low-key wish that was like the finals, but yeah, it's so funny the difference in people's rooting interests between Wemby and SGA, and it's funny. I actually think the Thunder are probably one of the more likable teams in the league if you removed SGA off that team. But man, like, you know the narrative. Like they used to pin it on LeBron and Luka and all this stuff. Like, oh, the flopping. SGA is ridiculous, and I know everyone says it. It's been said for forever. It's like not even on shots anymore. It's fighting through screens. It's defending at the rim. It's insane. He's so brutal to watch. Don't get me wrong. He's a great, great player. Probably some of the best mid-range I've ever seen. But it's just so funny how likable the Spurs are. And you can just tell how much Wemby wants this. And his battles with Chet, I mean, that's like big brother, little brother at this point. I know Chet had got him in the past a little bit when they were growing up in the U18 worlds and all this stuff. But, I mean, Chet looks like he just got paid $300 million. He was like almost unplayable at some point in this series. Like, it's crazy. Really happy for the Spurs. The Spurs are one of the few, not even just in the NBA, few sports franchises that have had dynasties or close to dynasties. Obviously, the Parker, Ginobili, Duncan was definitely a dynasty, but the Glenn Robinson, and now with this Wemby team, like the talks are kind of starting about it, but nobody like hates them. Like, I mean, obviously there's probably like Mavs fans and Thunder fans and stuff that hate them, but like universally they've always been a pretty liked franchise, which is really, really rare when teams are successful. A lot of that probably has to do with Popovich, and a lot of their stars weren't like in-your-face stars like Duncan and Parker and stuff like that. Kawhi obviously had a good run there too, but I love the Spurs team. They're fun to watch. Wemby's obviously an alien. But yeah, I thought it was one of the more fun series in the NBA I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's a lot I want to get to as well. One of the things you said that I also agree on, but I want to touch on, is the Spurs as long as we've been alive, has always been a pretty relevant team. They've had a few down years, but they've always been competitive. And you don't see a lot of people who dislike the Spurs. And I think that speaks on, and it's actually a great point that needs to be had. Fans, not all fans just hate the hate. It really isn't like that. Most teams that become hateable or unwatchable, there is genuine probable cause of why fans don't like them anymore or want to see them lose. So with the Spurs, you have to appreciate what they're able to do and how they're able to go about it. Everything in the foundation of the Spurs has to do with hard work. And they wear it on their sleeve. Like that's who they are. It's not even about like are they flashy or are they not or anything like that. It's just the camaraderie that they build within their squads, no matter who's there and how they put the team together. You have an organization that actually cares and is trying to win. I mean, the masterclass that they put on in the draft for the last 2 to 3 years is honestly phenomenal and really goes without saying. Like, everyone talks about Wemby, but getting Castle on that team, getting Dylan Harper. I mean, getting Dylan Harper might have been some of his best work because I'm not going to say I'm the biggest college basketball fan, but man, that was just a great pick all around. That was a great choice of a guy for sure, and how he's been playing. And then of course the fan base. The fan base. It's weird because the fan base is like a small town community. It feels like everyone supports each other in their own way, but they're also not in your face about it to where it seems obnoxious. It's a weird formula that they got going on down there. And then with OKC, I actually want to speak on this because I'm glad this is happening again, so I can finally point this out again. This is similar to the Kansas City Chiefs issue. And this is what the issue is. When the Kansas City Chiefs first started out, they were a very likable team. And especially why? I mean, you can't hate Patrick Mahomes and how good he was. I mean, he's still phenomenal now, but how good he was at the start of his career. And he dethroned Tom Brady, essentially, to now become the guy. And everyone hated Tom Brady at that point and wanted him gone and everything of that nature, right? That was when he was on the Patriots. And Kansas City wasn't always good. Like, they were always like bad, or they had a long stretch of making it to the playoffs but not doing anything with it, like getting out of the first round, getting some embarrassing losses out there. But here's what happened, and this is clear. Both of these teams are very likable, no matter what people say. I mean, tides kind of turned on the Chiefs. They got a bunch of convicts on that team, but they were very likable. What turned it around for the fans and what made them not like either of those teams, with the Chiefs and with the Thunder, is that it was less about how good they were playing, and it seemed more that there were powers that be that wanted them to keep continuing through the playoffs because of the ratings. And that's where fans were getting upset. Fans aren't stupid, and fans don't just always hate the hate. Sometimes there is real reason. The fact that how the Thunder were flopping to get these calls that were blatantly obvious that they shouldn't have been calls made it seem like there was calls upstairs of trying to extend the series, trying to get more viewership out, and fans don't like that. At the end of the day, when you go to watch the WWE, you know what you're going to get. You're having fun. When you go and watch a competitive sport, you don't want the refs to dictate how long this series is going to be, who's going to get the advantage or not. No one wants that. But these leagues still, for some reason, try to find a way to do that just to squeeze out more viewership, and it makes fans turn on teams. That's exactly what happened. OKC only won one championship. They are still in one of the best spots in the NBA to continue their greatness with the amount of first-round picks that they have. And the fan base outside of OKC has turned on them this fast. It has everything to do with the league and what they've been doing with OKC, and less about what OKC has actually been doing. They need to fix flopping, but flopping, there's already rules on the books for that. So you just need to enforce the rules at this point, maybe close a loophole or two, but there are rules. If I'm correct, it is considered a foul if you are if you do flop. And like some of those
Yeah.
calls, like you said, it's different when you're trying to create contact to get the foul and you're driving to the lane and stuff. But these guys are like, there's film, they're diving into players to get a call when they don't even have the ball. Like it's beyond not good basketball. We're just making things up. That's just where we're at. We're making things up. So that's where it started to become justified, and that's where this is probably one of the most successful hate watches in the history of fandom. It honestly was this, and the only one that I think is as high was the Philadelphia Eagles blowing out the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That was probably an equally as satisfying thing to watch. But I don't blame OKC. I don't think they're unlikable guys. They're going to be fine. I think for the next 5 to 6 years, this is going to be the premier matchup going forward. The NBA is definitely making their money off of this. And last thing I'll say is just, credit to Wemby. There's been these big calls about the league being soft, load management, and all of that stuff going on. Wemby has that dog in him. And Wemby shows that he has that dog in him. 100%, and you have to respect that. He's obviously a freak of nature, the biggest guy on the planet, pretty much. But the times where they shut off the analytics, they shut off the offense, they're like, oh, Wemby, I am facing Chet. Everyone, clear out. Hey, clear out. I got this. Yeah. And he is putting belt to ass to Chet every single time. You gotta respect that. On the other way around, Chet coming up on offense, and Wemby's there. He's like, hey, I got it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And it genuinely took Chet out of his game. Like, he was terrified. He had to pass the ball and everything. So I loved it. This series is the embodiment of what every fan wants to see in the NBA. And this is what's really going to bring the views up, minus the officiating errors that we don't want to see, we want to get fixed.
No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it was like I said, big brother, little brother with Wemby and Chet. It was just impossible to stop. And the Spurs just have so many good role players that if Wemby does have an off night or something like that, Castle or Harper or Cornette or whoever, Keldon Johnson, somebody's going to step up and help. So,
yeah, without a doubt, man. And we'll touch a little bit on the Cavs and Knicks series. There's really not much to be said. I mean, they just got ran off the court for about 4 games. There's one thing in particular that was done that I think is going to be interesting is that at some point, Cat kind of started facilitating that offense, which I think is going to be interesting when we talk about the finals, because I think this is going to be a great matchup, regardless of what people think. I know people think this is the finals for the Spurs to win. I think the Knicks are way more competitive than we're giving it credit for. To be fair to them, I didn't think they would make it that far. They definitely surprised me. But watching them play now, I can kind of see how all the pieces are coming together, and they are for sure formidable. But the only thing I really want to add to that series, and then I'll let you talk about it a little bit, is just having Cat starting to facilitate the offense. I think that's going to be very interesting. And I'm very curious how the Spurs are going to handle that. Because, Wemby, obviously Wemby's going to be Wemby. But Cat, I mean, when Cat wants to play like Cat, he is formidable. And I think that's going to be very hard for Wemby to understand. Like, Cat is also a guy that can give you 30 at the center position, and also can play off ball. He's not hanging around in the paint like they had a Hardenstein, and then I don't know what Chet was doing out there. He just folded. But anyway, I'll let you speak on that as well. What did you think about that Cavs and Knicks series?
Yeah, like you said, kind of not up to the standards I would have hoped. But, I mean, if the Cavs don't blow that game 2, I think it's a 6-game series, maybe even a 7-game series. But losing that game 2 after the Knicks went on like a 41-11 run or whatever that was in the third and fourth quarter, like once they won that, there was no coming back. They kind of just laid down in game 4 too. Like, it was kind of a boring series, but I truly do think if that game 2 goes the opposite way, it'd be a totally different series. So, but yeah, Brunson, whenever he needs to get a bucket, it seems like it's impossible to stop him. He'll blow by anybody when he needs to. Obviously, Cat is playing well whenever he can make shots, and I think Mitchell Robinson's going to play in the finals with his broken finger, but he's been great defensively and on the boards as well. Dude shoots free throws like hail, but besides that, he's a great player. But again, Shamet just couldn't miss. I think there was a point where he made like 6 straight threes. I think he's shooting like 50% or maybe even higher in that series. So it should be I think it'll be a really, really fun series.
I think so too. And we'll get right into the finals preview here, talking about the Knicks and the Spurs. I will say, before we even get to the players, this is probably going to be the 2 funnest fan bases to observe from game to game. Because you have the Knicks, which the Knicks is the Big Apple, top dog, spit in your face, yell, scream, $10,000 tickets just to sit up there with Jesus Christ at the top, and then you have the Spurs, which is like wholesome family values. We're bringing the church to the game with the nuns rocking the jerseys and all that stuff. So the difference in fan base is going to be funny to see, and I'm curious to see how many Knicks fans are going to travel to San Antonio and how many San Antonio are going to travel to New York. That's going to be cool to watch. But getting into the actual players, I think this series really just comes down to Cat. That's just my personal opinion. I think everyone is going to play their job. The adjustments are obviously going to be made. Castle is a blatant mismatch on most guards, which I find very intriguing. However, I know Ginobili, in a way, I feel like Ginobili can kind of even them out if they put them on each other. I don't know. I find that matchup is going to be pretty interesting. I feel like that's the direction they're going to lean to with that. Castle can play some big games if he's not turning over the ball, just by his playing ability and sheer size. So he's definitely going to be a player to watch if you want a sneaky MVP pick. If it's not going to be Wemby for the Spurs, it's probably going to be Castle on this one. But all in all, it really just comes down to Cat. The biggest issue I've had with Cat, outside of the fact that everyone says I look like him, which I don't, but I think Cat can be a little inconsistent, and I always get frustrated because he's like 7'2" and he doesn't want to play like a center every game, which is just frustrating. But if Cat offensively is giving you 20 a night, they can win this series, just hands down. Like, I think across the board, there's going to be pros and cons, but they kind of even each other out enough. I think that's really what the Thunder were missing. If Chet actually just played like a normal player and gave them 15 a night, they definitely would have won that series. Or if instead of Hardenstein, they just had a better offensively equipped center, they definitely would have won that series. And that's definitely what Cat is. The only thing that's going to stop Cat, I believe, is obviously Wemby, but really just himself. If he has a bad shooting night, if he tries to shoot 4 or 5 from beyond the arc and is not making them, I think that's going to really hurt the Knicks. So that's my opinion. For my 2 MVPs on the Knicks, I think it's going to be Cat, because Cat's going to have to give them 15 to 20 a night if they're going to win. And then on the Spurs, I think Castle is a really, really sneaky pick. If not, then of course Wemby's going to be the MVP.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think the Knicks can win this series. I think a lot of people will get a little tied up into the Spurs almost feeling like that Western Conference Finals was the finals, but I don't think people should sleep on the Knicks. I think they can easily win the series if Cat plays well. Mitchell Robinson can limit Wemby. And then obviously Brunson is going to get his, and if some of their role players like OG and Shamit and other people play well, I think the Knicks can definitely win this. And if the Knicks win this series, like, just close down New York for a couple days, bro. It ain't even worth it. It's going to be like the Phillies Super Bowl, but twice as bad.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it was Dark Knight Rising was in New York. I could be wrong with that, with Bane. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm telling people right now, it is honestly going to be Gotham City in there. Like, they're going to blow up all the bridges if the Knicks win. It's going to be bad. There's going to be a containment zone. They're going to have to, like, quarantine people with how bad it's going to be if the New York Knicks win a finals game. That's going to be everything. Like, you seen that meme where, like, when the Seahawks won, they're like, this is the year you try everything. This has to be it. If the Knicks win, this is the year you try everything. Nothing else matters. Call your girl, call your crush, go on that trip, spend that money, go to the casino. Like, it's everything. If the Knicks wins an NBA championship, that's everything. They're going to shut off basketball for a year. They need to take a year off if that happens.
Deadass.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know you've seen the Paris videos with PSG who just won, and they literally are burning Paris to the ground. It's going to be that times 10. I'm telling people, because I know there's tons of people in New York who don't know what's going on basketball-wise. Y'all need to start paying attention. Because by, like, game 5, 6, if it's starting to look a little too good, you're going to see ultra violence. Yeah. You're going to see cartel level violence happening on New York streets that you've never seen before. You guys need to stay inside. You need to start getting emergency equipment and food and water right now. You need to start preparing.
Literally. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. It really is. I'm not even joking. Like, this isn't even for joke. It is honestly going to be crazy if they do win. But I think the final question I'll ask is Wemby. Let's actually talk about Wemby here for a second. I just want your opinion on it. Like, what is your personal appeal to Wemby? Because I think he's made millions of fans within the past few months of people really watching his play. What, in your eyes, what is it about Wemby that is making you like him or a fan or just anything of that nature?
I think you can just tell how bad he wants it and how much it means to him. He's mentioned plenty of times that he always looked up to Greg Popovich and those Spurs teams when he was kind of growing up, getting into basketball. And obviously he was like their saving grace, onto the second dynasty type of expectations. And he's obviously living up to them at this point in time. But I just think it's the way he plays. He's not out there flopping or bitching and whining about calls. Like, he wants to win, and he's going to do whatever he can to do that. And just the way he interacts with his teammates as well. You can tell how uplifting and how much he expects out of them. And it seems that all of them respond pretty well to that. So I think that's what I like about Wemby.
Yeah, for me, it just comes down to two things. Is number one, this is going to seem taboo, but I have to be honest. It looks like he actually loves basketball. Like, that's what he's there for, And two, it's vastly understated his competitive nature, And we definitely see it on display now. But it's those two things paired together. And to give you an example, you look at a guy like Jokic. Jokic, the only thing holding him back is his horses that he cares about, right? But in all honesty, he is one of the greatest centers we'll probably ever see in the league.
Yeah.
But it's just, for you to know that basketball really isn't his number one and that he has other priorities in life, it kind of seems weird looking at him as that, or looking at him that he should probably be the face of the league. Because he just, just how he carries himself seems very nonchalant, indifferent about most things going on in basketball, right? You can make a similar argument with Luka. Luka, way more competitive. You can see the competitive nature in him, but still kind of the same issues that you'll find to where it's like you don't know all the time if he's like loves basketball, wants to be. It's kind of off and on. Sometimes he's super competitive. Sometimes he's just like, rich, I can just go back to Croatia or Serbia, which of those two countries he's from, and kind of just coast it out. Sorry, Luca, I don't remember which one, but kind of just coast it out and stuff. That's actually the appeal of Anthony Edwards as well. You look at Anthony Edwards and you see his love and his drive for basketball, and you're rooting for him to make it over the hump, right? So to close it out, Wemby kind of embodies that. And it's just so cool from the fan perspective to see someone who cares that much and to try that much go over these hurdles ahead of schedule. Like, this is his second year, and he's beating the reigning champs. You look at this team, rookies, second-year guys. I think the oldest guy, well, they got veterans, but like the oldest guy that's getting meaningful playing time is De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox been in the league for what, 7 years? 8 years, literally like our age, so like late 20s. That team is unbelievably young, and how they have really just come together and be like, hey, we're riding and dying with Wemby. He's going to lead us away, and Wemby really taking that mantle. It's like, this is my team, this is my city, this is everything to me, and I owe them this. That's what it feels like. It feels like he's walking around like he owes it to them to be this special. And you can feel that. It's contagious. You see that on the screen. You see how emotional he is to win a conference game. And there's people that have the nerve to like be mad at him for showing emotion or saying it's premature or he hasn't won a championship yet and stuff. Well, number one, you must have never played a meaningful sport before in a meaningful moment, because that's going to happen regardless of what happens. I mean, you can get that emotional winning a playoff game in high school. Like things like that matter with the amount of work that you put in. He's put in 10 times the amount of work that any of us ever put in on this sport to succeed, right? So that's number one. Number two, what's wrong with caring? Honestly. Like, where are we at? What's wrong with caring? I've said this before. A lot of these athletes really just want to be celebrities. They want the money. They want to dress up, take pictures and stuff. But they don't really practice their craft to be as good as they can be in the sport. For Wemby you see this in Wemby. You see everything he's doing. He's in China now. Look at him. He's talking to all the greats. He's talking to KG, talking to Kareem, all that stuff. He wants to be the guy. And he is in full position to be the guy. So what's there to hate about? Honestly, and that's where I am. That's why I like Wemby. And I'm not a Spurs fan at all. I just like Wemby. It's like, you can't ask for much more out of a human being than what he's trying to do for that city.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, I hate the crowd of you haven't won it all yet, so you can't be excited. It's like, dude, it's his third year in the league, like, and he's going to a championship as the main guy. Like, let him be happy. And that's just could go down a rabbit hole of how that translates to what's wrong in this world. But regardless, I love seeing Wemby emotional about it and act like he cares, because he does. So, yeah, I hate the people that are spewing that nonsense. Let the kid be happy and live, and I'm sure he'll be equally as emotional as if they lose the finals, and that's what you want out of a star player. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's our new campaign for 2026. Make people care again. That's what it really should be, man. Like, I mean, again, I respect it, man. You feel that. As much of a diehard fan as I am for my sports team, I would like the people playing for that team to feel the same way. And I feel that at Wemby, and I respect that 100%. I do. Yeah. But this is interesting. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Just give your honest opinion between the Knicks and the Spurs. Who do you think it's going to win? What are kind of the keys to the game here? let's share knowledge here. Let's try to figure this out together. I will say I don't condone gambling, but we do sports bet. There is a lot of money to be made on the finals here. These teams are going to be playing hard. They got a lot to play for sure. So let's work this out. Let's join the community. Let's figure this out, man. But other than that, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Garth, anything before we close this out?
Nope. Let's go Spurs, baby. Spur up.
Let's go Spurs, baby. All right, take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.